Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we have an important video for the state of Iowa where some Republicans have teased 2nd District campaign announcements following Republican Representative Ashley Hinson announcing a U.S. Senate run in Iowa. So this article from the Iowa Capitol Dispatch says that after U.S. Representative Ashley Hinson has officially launched her Senate campaign to replace Ernst, Republicans, including former U.S. Representative Rod Blum, have hinted they're planning to run for Iowa's 2nd Congressional District in 2026. Hinson, who has represented the Northeast Iowa District for 3 terms, this is Iowa District 2, just to be clear, announced on Tuesday she would run for U.S. Senate, shortly after U.S. Senator Joni Ernst announced that she would not be running for a 3rd term. Hinson quickly became the frontrunner for the GOP nomination, following her entrance into the race, getting endorsements from Republican senators and House GOP leadership. Hinson's pivot to the Senate race means Iowa's 2nd Congressional District will not have an incumbent in the 2026 elections. There are currently no Republicans who have announced their campaigns for the seat as of the time of this article, but I do have some news on this one in the Wikipedia article. But in the wake of the Tuesday campaign shakeup, Blum, who has previously represented the area in Congress, has teased a 2026 run, saying, "The outpouring support has been humbling. It was the honor of my lifetime to represent our district for 4 years, standing squarely with President Trump and backing his America First agenda," Blum wrote. "Stay tuned!" Blum served 2 terms representing Iowa's 1st District, the northeast area of the state that largely became the 2nd District during the 2020 redistricting process. He was first elected in 2014, defeating former Iowa House Speaker Pat Murphy, the Democratic candidate, and won a 2nd term in 2016. Now, Blum ultimately lost his seat in the Democratic midterm wave year of 2018 to former U.S. Representative Abby Finkenauer, a Democrat. The Republican was also previously the CEO of Eagle Point Software and currently owns the construction software company Digital Canal. In addition to Blum, Iowa Representative Shanna Lundgren also wrote on social media Tuesday she's weighing a run for the 2nd District. Lundgren, who has served in state legislature since 2018, wrote that the district must continue to be represented by an American First conservative whose roots run deep in the community. Okay, so that's the latest on that. Now, when it comes to the House race right now, this article came out on September 4th, 2025. And just to be clear, I'm recording this video on September 12th on Friday. So it's been about a week or so, and we already have some developments in this race. Rod Blum and Shannon Lundgren are still the 2 most famous Republicans thus far that have expressed interest in this race. However, 2 Republicans have officially declared. Charlie McClintock, a state senator from the 42nd District of Iowa, which is located in eastern Iowa and is composed of Benton and Lynn counties, is running in the Republican primary. Joe Mitchell, the former state representative of the 84th District, which is the represented parts of Benton and Lynn counties before the redistricting, is also running in this race. Now, Rod Blum, being the former U.S. representative, likely will have a larger name recognition than both McClintock and Mitchell, and possibly even Shannon Lundgren. But if Blum and Lundgren both enter this race, this is going to be a very competitive race. If President Trump decides to make an endorsement in this race, that may very well decide who ends up winning this. Also, who Ashley Hinson decides to support in this race could be very important as well. So this is a very interesting race going on here, and at the general election level, this may be the most competitive race we've seen in the 2nd District in quite some time. Now, the Cook Political Voting Index has its race listed at Republican +4, which would categorize it as a lean Republican seat. However, we've actually seen Ashley Hinson win this seat by pretty large margins the past few years. She won it by 15.6% in 2024, and back in 2022, she won it by 8.2%. Now, as the article mentioned, Iowa did redraw its congressional map, like pretty much every other state, after the 2020 census, where before, the district looked like this. So it was redrawn to being a more Republican district than it was in 2020. Here, Hinson defeated Finkenauer by 2.6% in 2020, after Finkenauer defeated Blum here by 5.1%. Before then, 2016, Blum won it by 7.7%. So this district, which seems to be a lot more red now, will be interesting to watch for 2026, because seeing as Hinson won it by 15.6%, this is going to be the first time in the last 4 years or so this race will be without an incumbent, and it'll be in 2026, which based on the history of elections should be more of a Democratic midterm wave year than a Republican advantage wave year. It's also worth noting, Democrats had some very close calls in Iowa in 2024, where Democrat Bohannon almost defeated Marinette Miller Meeks in Iowa 1 and came within 5 points of Republican Zach Nunn in Iowa 3. Now, if you're from Iowa or you're an observer of Iowa elections, you'll also know Iowa has a Senate race up in 2026 with Joni Ernst retiring. Ashley Hinson is likely going to be the Republican nominee in this race, so that may help Republicans down ballot, actually, if she continues to have a strong electoral performance like she had in her district. Now, on the flip side, Iowa's governor's race in 2026 could be a very interesting scenario, as this is going to be an open race now that Kim Reynolds is not running, and this is going to be Democrat Rob Sand facing off against Republican Representative Randy Feenstra, where right now, this race could be anywhere from likely to lean Republican, and depending on Sand's performance, we may very well see this race potentially get very close. Now, if this race does get close, we could see a large reason of that being Democratic turnout. And if there's strong Democratic turnout, that could make the congressional races down ballot more competitive. Now, I ultimately think on the consensus map right now, it's listed as likely Republican, and I think it probably remains there. But there is potential if Rob Sand does well enough at the Democratic side in the governor's race, and even if Rob Sand wins the governor's race in Iowa, in my opinion, that would be a pretty big upset if he did. But if Sand is able to do that, we'd probably see Iowa 1 go blue. We could be seeing Iowa 3 going blue, and at very least, the prospect of Iowa 2 going blue may very well be there. Now, the map has been redrawn to be more Republican-friendly, so I do ultimately think it remains in the red column, but I would not be shocked come Election Day if the Democrats are doing super well nationwide, Republicans are in free fall, essentially, if we see Iowa 2 go to the Democrats. Now, if that were to happen, Republicans are probably getting blown out nationwide, and at this current point in time, I don't think that's what's going to end up happening, but if it does, Iowa 2 certainly is within striking distance for the Democrats at winning the state. But again, given how Iowa has trended in recent years, I don't think we see that happen, but the possibility at very least is on the table. Now, for Rod Blum specifically, in his, I would say, prowess in this campaign, he did lose in 2018, but the district was more Democratic drawn. It was also in a year when Democrats did very well in 2018. Now, Blum's biggest problem will be that he's running in the same type of election environment, or most similar to what 2018 was. Now, worth noting, in the general election, Fickenauer had a very large lead over Blum and was widely projected to be the Democratic winner in this race. Now, this time around for 2026, it seems more likely the Republicans hold on and win it in the likely Republican category as of today. It could potentially change, but for right now, the Republicans have a stronger chance of holding on. On the Democratic side, Kathy Dolter is running, as well as Lindsey James, a state representative, Don Primus, a former Pine Lake State Park manager, and Clint Twed-Ball, a nonprofit founder, is also running. Kevin Kachow, a former U.S. attorney from Northern District of Iowa, has withdrawn from the race. So I currently think Blum, if he were to win this Republican primary, would probably win this election in the general, but the idea of this race becoming competitive is certainly not too far-fetched at all. But ultimately, if I were to make a prediction on this race, the consensus rankings have it listed as likely Republican, and I'd be more inclined to agree with that at this current point in time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you did. Also, make sure to leave any comments below with any comments or questions about this video or other video ideas you would like to see me go over. And again, please remember to hit like and subscribe, as I post multiple videos every day you're not going to want to miss out on. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in a future video.